Is your goal in life to avoid feeling bad, to get rid of anxiety, to get rid of panic, to get rid of guilt? These all sound like very logical goals. Of course, we don't want to really feel these things. But if we're chasing after these goals, we're setting ourselves up to be miserable. In this video, we're going to explore two major ways in which we do this. Let's explore the first one. The first reason this is not a good idea is that we're actually reinforcing our problems. If the goal is to get rid of something, how do we know we succeeded in doing that? We need to check if it's gone, right? So what we're actually doing here is checking whether this thing we don't like is still there, making it very important. It might be the first thing you do in the morning. How am I feeling today? Is it finally gonna be a good day? Will I finally not be so anxious today? Or I hope I won't get a panic attack today. What we're doing here is we're actually consciously reminding ourselves of these things. And in that way, we're reinforcing them. Of course, it's very understandable. The experience of a panic attack, for example, might be quite traumatic, or there might be a memory that'll really disturb us, and we want to get rid of it. But if we're putting that fear in charge, if the goal is to get rid of panic or to get rid of that disturbing memory, then what is it that we're actually putting in the center of our lives? Exactly these things that we don't want to experience, that feeling or that memory that we're trying to get rid of. So the second issue I see with this approach is about control. Essentially what we're doing here is we're trying to control something we don't control. You've probably noticed that feelings, thoughts, physical sensations, these things are not within your control. These are experiences. However hard you've tried to get rid of them, they keep coming back. We do not control our feelings, thoughts, and physical sensations. And trying to control something we don't control is a quick way to struggle. That shouldn't really be surprising, right? You've probably noticed yourself that trying your hardest to get rid of anxiety, uncertainty, panic, guilt, these things keep coming back. So set goals that are within your control. In You Are Not a Rock, Mark Freeman calls the unhelpful goals rock goals. These are things that a rock can always do better than us. A rock will always feel less anxious, feel less uncertain, feel less guilty. But there's so many amazing things we can do that a rock can't. We can build relationships with others. We can listen to a piece of music. We can move around in the world and so many more amazing things. So set goals that you can do better than a rock. Make them about the actions you value practicing. Make them about the things you care about in life. Whilst focusing on our valued actions, we can also build something called psychological flexibility. This is the ability to experience a wide range of emotions, thoughts, and physical sensations. Instead of fighting our internal experiences, we can start to make space for them. We don't have to like them, but we can be willing to experience them. We can accept them as part of life. And down the road, we might actually learn to be curious towards them. What exactly does anxiety feel like? And where in my body am I feeling it exactly? Meditation can be a great way to practice this. When we're focusing on the things we do control, so our valued actions, and when we're at the same time building psychological flexibility, making space for any internal experience, often what will happen is these symptoms we struggled with so much, that we tried to get rid of so much, will actually start to lessen. This takes time though. You have to ride the uncertainty curve. So when we're first starting cutting out compulsions, if we've practiced doing lots of compulsions around our internal experiences for years, then the brain really won't like it when we start to cut them out. The brain has learned that controlling these things is very important. So when all of a sudden we stop doing that, the brain will freak out. And uncertainty, anxiety, and other feelings might actually increase. However, if we keep at it though, over time the brain will catch up and start to throw up these experiences less. And this is quite logical because we're not spending so much time on them, we're not putting them in the center of our lives anymore. So essentially, we're teaching the brain, hey, these things, we don't have to be so afraid of them anymore, and the brain will start to throw them up less. I need to stress though, it is still not the goal to get rid of these feelings. If they are there, if they're not there, it doesn't matter. We can still practice valued actions. We can still do the stuff we care about. And in this way, we're keeping control close. And that's so important. So, building better mental health is about doing the things we care about whilst having any internal experience. Any experience can be there whilst we do the stuff we care about. So, as you might start to notice that the brain will throw up these experiences less and less, it still wouldn't be a problem if they were there or if they would come back. Building great mental health is about doing the stuff we care about whilst having any internal experience. If your goal in life is to avoid a feeling, thought, or sensation, you're setting yourself up to be miserable. What you're doing is you're actually reinforcing the things you're trying so hard to avoid, and you're trying to control something you don't control. Instead, pivot towards values. Focus on what's within your control, your actions. Whilst doing this, you can work on building psychological flexibility, the capacity to experience a wide range of feelings, thoughts, and sensations. Always remember, great mental health is about doing the things we care about whilst having any internal experience.